G'day, it's Roy Thomas from Sutton Group Professional Realty and HalifaxSeniorLiving.ca. Today's video, we're going to talk about the things to consider in determining if it's the right time to downsize your home and right size your life. Some questions you should ask yourself. We're going to look at 6 different factors. Because let's be honest, if you've been in your home for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you know at some point in time it's going to happen. The question is, when is the right time? When should you be doing this? When should you be thinking about downsizing? So let's look at the 6 different things that you should consider, because it's not an easy decision to make. You don't want to stay too long, because the worst thing is be in a situation where you have to make a move due to a health change or whatever. So ideally, you want to make the move before you have to make it. So let's look at the 6 things that you should consider. Number 1, do you have unused rooms in the house? Typically, I find a lot of folks I work with are basically living in about 3 rooms. The living room, den, family room, the kitchen, and the bedroom. Those are the 3 rooms that they do probably 90% of the living in. The other rooms, the secondary bedrooms, a lot of times basement, rec room, workshop, rarely get used. They're basically just sitting there. But the reality is, if that's your situation, you're paying for the electricity, heat, taxes for the entire house. You're only using anywhere from 15 to 50% of it, depending on the size of your house. So if you got a lot of unused rooms, clearly the property is too big for you. Can you afford to stay in your current home for 5, 10, 20 years? You want to look at how long do you think you can be there. Utilities, heat, and taxes will continue to rise. And of course, the longer you stay in the home, more likely you are to encounter major renovations or repairs that need to be done, such as roof, windows, sun decks, things like this. They're going to be expensive if you do the work. And if you don't do the work, of course, it's going to affect the value when you do sell the property. So, are you looking at major repairs that are going to have to be done in the next number of years? And is it actually worth your while to stay there and do them? If you're going to put a new roof on next year and you're planning to sell the year after, not a lot of benefit to putting that roof on. Is your yard easy to maintain? There's simply more to maintaining a lawn than just maintaining a yard than just mowing the lawn. There's landscaping that needs to be done, trees that need to be trimmed and pruned. There's a lot of work to maintaining a yard, and if you're not able to do it yourself, it gets expensive paying people to do it. Not maintaining your house and yard, as we mentioned, will lower the value and affect the selling price when you decide to sell at some point in the future. Do you feel isolated? If you rarely go out, you are missing social interaction. I've talked to some folks who, for example, in the winter, they don't go out for weeks or months on end. If the weather's bad, they're concerned about driving in snow or falling on ice. So they spend a lot of time at home, and you're missing a lot of interaction with friends, family, even just taking a walk through the shopping mall. So if you're staying home a lot and you're feeling isolated, it might be time to look at what might be a better fit for you. Do you have too much stuff to manage? Throughout our lifetimes, we collect a lot of things. And honestly, it can be overwhelming. I've actually saw folks that have rooms full of shelving units, crammed with boxes full of stuff. Things that they're keeping in case they probably need them someday. Might be things from an old hobby, whatever. Good rule is the 2-year rule. If you haven't used something in 2 years, you probably don't need it. You should probably get rid of it. Give it away, throw it out, sell it, whatever, but you probably don't need it. So if you've got a lot of stuff in your house, it's probably time to look at, you don't need to have the house to store that stuff. And the last one is, do you have a lot of equity in your home? I work with clients who have found it difficult to get by monthly on their pensions, but yet they were sitting at a home which had $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 in equity in the property, and that money was just sitting there and not working for them. Yes, your home does go up in value over time, but they were struggling on a monthly basis because the pensions were enough and they didn't have access to this money. Downsizing, going to a smaller home, a condo, or an apartment will allow you to free up some or all of your equity that you can then invest to produce yourself a retirement income to fund your lifestyle and allow you to travel, spend time with family and friends, whatever you want. So those are 6 things to consider. Do you have unused rooms? How long can you afford to stay in your current home? What about maintaining the yard? Do you have a feeling of isolation? Do you have too much stuff to manage? And are you sitting on a lot of equity? Consider those things. If that's you, then maybe it is time to consider you should be looking at downsizing your house and right-sizing your life. If you'd like to talk to me, get a plan in place, feel free to give me a call. You can reach me at 902-497-3031, or you can go to my website, www.halifaxseniorliving.ca, and you can reach out through me there. We've also got a lot of great articles, videos, reports, a lot of great information you can get. Good place to start is to grab the 8 downsizing tips report. You can have that free. Just fill in your name and email address there and it'll be sent to you immediately. Anyways, my name is Roy Thomas with Sutton Group Professional Realty. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout. Again, it's 902-497-3031. Thanks very much, and we'll talk to you later.